Okay, so what's up guys? It's been a couple of months, maybe two, since I uploaded my last video. I'm out here in nature and I thought, fuck dude, you gotta upload more videos. I made a commitment to myself yesterday to start recording more. The reason I procrastinated, and if you want to start a YouTube channel ever in your life, don't perfect it. I was just way too much of a perfectionist. I would say one thing wrong and I would have to re-record a video because it was just not perfect enough. Well, lo and behold, someone found out video editing. Don't become a perfectionist because perfection kills action. And if you wait for the right moment and the best camera and the best scripts to upload a video, you're never gonna do it because it's never good enough, especially when you're just starting out. Fuck my arm. And I think I'm lifting weights, but holding a camera and talking for 5 minutes, I gotta learn this stuff. So yeah, I just had to sit down because my arm is just hurting from my phone in front of me. So the reason I switched for my business model is because the rank and red model is dying. Let's talk about the switch in business model. When I was 17, I found this business model, which is the rank and red model. It basically means that you build a ton of websites and Google business profiles, you start ranking them in Google, and then you get all these leads. My arm is still hurting. You get these calls, right, for let's say plumbing or concrete or tree service. Then what you do is you call up all these business owners and say like, hey, I have these calls and I'm looking for a partner. And then you start forwarding the calls to them. They pay you a monthly fee of, let's say, $1,500 a month. And then everything is happy after. Well, not so much. Why? Because it's getting harder and harder to get leads naturally, organically. Most people, they pay for Facebook ads, and every business owner knows someone who has offered them a Facebook advertising service. It certainly isn't dead, but it's just not a strong offer. The lead generation offer is dying. The reason why is that lead generation is one thing, but lead management and conversion, actually having leads result in money, that's a different thing. So I had this client that left me this week and he was a $2,500 a month client. So it doesn't hurt because I'm not emotional about it. I closed 2 website deals this week, and 2 weeks ago I also had a website deal. So I'm making money, I'm making 5K a month, I was making 7K a month. This guy was getting 50 calls a month from me and he only picked up 10. He was missing 80% of the calls. And if they are not getting any deals from you, they are not gonna buy. But the main problem is that the Google business listings that I was getting the calls from are getting harder and harder to verify. Many people are still in the website building game, but websites only get like 20% of the calls. The real business is getting from Google Business. It's getting like 60 to 70% of the calls. I don't even build websites, I only build Google Business listings. So here's what the problem is with this business model. Number one is that it's getting harder to verify them. Before you had to send a postcard to someone's home, I was finding all these people from the United States who wanted to earn $40 for receiving a code. Then it changed to video verification. Right now you have to actually record a video, and that has to be reviewed by some Indian guy or Pakistani guy, and then it gets verified. Well, actually, I was also getting verified listings this way. But here's what happened. Google came with an update in which you wouldn't even get to the video option anymore if you had too many trials on your IP and your device. And yes, there is ways around it, but then another thing happened the next week. I had 3 listings to spend because Google actually owns your properties, and if they don't think your profiles are real, they're just gonna say like, nah, we're going to block this, and all of your leads are gone. So these are the 3 reasons why I'm leaving this business model. 1, lead generation in this model has a way too high churn rate. Number 2, it's getting harder to verify these listings, and number 3, it's getting easier for Google to suspend them because they are getting smarter. What's the solution? I'm switching from a lead generation rank and red model to a software with a service model. So instead of building my own properties and renting them out, I'm offering them a CRM, which is going to help them convert their customers and also manage all of their business processes. And along with that, I'm offering either Facebook advertising or I'm also offering Google Business Optimization. The difference here, however, is that I don't have the problem of suspensions and verification anymore because I'm doing it on their profile. So instead of trying to come up with my own profiles, I'm leveraging their profiles. And this is basically called SEO. However, the difference in my end is that I'm not only offering lead generation, I'm not just a lead generation company, I am their entire marketing service. Because not only are they getting leads from me, they are using my entire systems to manage all of their leads into text and have contact with all of their customers and the automations and all of that. So what basically happens is now I have their entire business by the balls, and if they wanted to leave me, they would have tremendous losses. Now let's say they are running Facebook ads with me for $1,500 a month, including the software. Well, if they ever wanted to turn off the Facebook ads and I'm only selling the software for $400 a month, then they are still my client. And then maybe 6 months later they want to turn it on again, or 6 months later they want to build a website. I have an existing client of 6 months old. That's my first client, by the way. And 1 month ago he suddenly said like, hey, I want to have you build a website for me. And I was like, that's actually cool because you're already my client and you feel me as your internet guy, and that's why you come to me for a new website. If you don't have client retention, you don't have a business. So if your customers or clients are leaving you after 3 months and you have to be constantly chasing new clients, it's just not going to be sustainable long term. You want to build a business with high client retention so that you have the momentum and the compound interest over time, because what's going to happen is they're going to refer more people to you and they're going to have you do more services. So it's better to have a low ticket service like a software, and on top of that sell lead generation services, instead of only offering lead generation services for a super high amount and that they leave you after a couple months and you have nothing to show for it. If you're able to offer them a service for only $200 a month, which is the software, which doesn't cost anything, it has zero cost of replication, you get all these small clients who are going to grow with you over time, and maybe in 6 months they are ready for Facebook ads, or they want to do a website, or they know someone else who is already a bigger guy and who wants you to do all of their Facebook marketing. The lesson here is that you need to have low ticket products that are going to be the backbone of your business, instead of just being like any other lead generation company out there who has this $1,000 a month lead generation service, but it only starts as $1,000 a month. Because what you do by that is you disqualify 90% of your prospects, because 90% of your prospects are not going to be in a position yet to be able to afford you the money that you require in order to grow your business. So what's way more effective is having the software included and having that low ticket service upfront, and then ascend them through the process. It's called this ascension model. Also, this is gonna make your economics way better. If you're doing Facebook ads and you're trying to sell $1,000 a month services, it's gonna be way harder to predict your ad spend because it's gonna have a way lower close rate, and therefore it's gonna take much more money to figure out what type of advertising works, as opposed to having a $100 a month software, which is going to increase the conversion rate because it's gonna be more valuable for less money, and therefore you're going to get more data back quicker, the feedback loop is going to be smaller, and therefore you figure out what works more and you get to spend more money on advertising because your economics are in place. I'm switching my model from the whole lead generation aspect to lead generation with software, and basically actually software with lead generation. It's not going to be lead generation with software, because the software is the backbone, and that's going to keep them with me for the long term. And even if they go from $1,000 a month to $300 a month, they are still going to be interested in working with me in the long term. And if they ever have someone in their circle who also needs my services, they are going to be out there still viewing me as their internet guy, and therefore redirecting those people to my company, because growth is 1,000 times more effective through referrals than just doing ads. And the way you get referrals is of course by delivering outstanding services. Great customer service needs to be your number one priority. Number two priority is your product, but even you can even have a shitty product, but if you can have great customer service, that's gonna trump after everything, and that's gonna make you a great business besides your fulfillment, of course. So yeah, number one is improve client retention rate, otherwise you don't have a business. Number two is, if you want to improve client retention rate, have lower ticket products to sell. The software is going to be that lower ticket service that you're going to be able to offer to many more customers, because you have the A and the B and the C type of customers. Basically, you have the people with a lot of money and you have the people with not as much money, and the people with not as much money are going to be in a majority, and you're going to be able to help them out. You're going to be able to take them on board. And because you have many more clients, you're going to get many more referrals, and you want to start a company that's going to be referral based, because referrals trump any other type of marketing strategy. You could actually build a $1 million company just based on referrals. And of course, it's going to be hard. It's not as reliable, but once the ball starts running and you get that compound interest, mind blowing. Okay, I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you right now. So here's the 3 things that you need to remember. Number one is that if you don't have client retention, you don't have a business. Because if they are going to leave after 3 months, then you have nothing to show for it. Number two is that if you want to improve your client retention, you need to have lower ticket services. If you're charging, say, $1,000 a month minimum, that's just gonna be the lead generation service only, and it's just gonna decrease your client retention heavily. So offer lower ticket services. Number 3 is offer the software as a lower ticket service. It's going to be zero cost of replication because it's going to allow you to offer that service for such a low cost because it's not going to take any time or work for you. Then these clients are going to grow with you, they're going to stay longer with you, and they are going to refer more business to you so you can grow more steadily instead of having all these big clients leave, come and go. And it's going to allow you to give way more than they pay for. And once you start giving way more value than people feel is fair, that's when they are going to send people towards you. And that's how you're going to grow a referral-based company. So let me just hold my arm right here. It's dark already. Yeah, I really got to hold my arm. It feels like it's falling off. Well, of course, don't rely on just referrals. But just be aware that if you can find ways to get more referrals, that's going to ultimately grow your business to the max potential. Spend most of your time on prospecting and only a small time on fulfillment because most of that should be delegated into a process. And you want to be doing money making activities every day. But focus on referrals, and that's gonna make you a millionaire if you have the right thing to work on with the right people and you work hard and you work smart. Talk to you later.